Then you have narrative, epistles or letters, prophecies, and apocalyptic literature. Alright? So, the meat of the matter, how to study the Word of God. So you have the Bible. Don't do like some people. I see a guy put a Bible in his car. So he says car is protected because he put a Bible in the car. I mean, I'll give him a few points because at least he has the Bible and it gives him the opportunity to pick it up, open it, and read it. Because the Bible is there. That's what I'm saying.
But Dennis, 90% of the time those Bibles never pick up or never move from where they are. They're in the window or they're in the car.
Right, but my argument is if you have it, there's a potential that you can open it and read it.
It could be a witness to somebody seeing a Bible there, they were conscious of it just the same.
Right, right. But if you don't open it, then you don't know, you wouldn't know what the content of the Bible is. What I'm saying, just having it is one step in the right direction.
He also caused people to respect you when they look at him with the Bible. They say, what? The guy's a Christian.
Yeah.
You understand?
But it also illustrates what we talked about last week. The influence of the Bible is one of the most influential books. Not one of, sorry, the most influential book, sorry. Right? But it also illustrates that. Everybody see you walking with a Bible, they automatically give you certain properties, right? Okay. So, you must have a commitment to study the Bible. With anything that you want to get in depth with, right? If you study to become a doctor, right? If you study to be a chef, if you want to be a carpenter, you want to be a mechanic, you don't just stumble into it. If you want to do it and do it well, you must have a commitment, right? So you must first have a commitment to study the Bible, right? And then you must have a well-rounded plan. No, well-rounded plan doesn't mean complicated plan. It means a plan that covers everything that would get you to the point that you want to get to. Alright? Let me just go back in case you okay? So you must have a commitment and you must have a plan. And here we're just talking about how to study the Bible, right?
Yeah, can I say something here, Brother Daniel? What do you think? Oftentimes, it's going on now and then, some of us do it. But the reading of the Bible in a year, I don't know how many of us have ever done it. Is it something that you would recommend? You understand what I'm saying? Is it something that
we're
getting there?
We're getting there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's look at this a little framework of how some of the things that you could do, right? Okay. So set aside at least 15 minutes a day for quiet time with the Lord, right? Quiet time. So sometimes we spend how much time we just talk, we pray, right? And then we don't listen, right? So plan for about 50 minutes a day to read through the Bible in a year. Pastor Brown? No, it's not like you have to finish the Bible in a year, because remember you have different chapters, different verses, different level of complexity, right? Because there are some chapters in the Bible, some verses, I have to read 4 or 5 times before I even begin to start understand what is being said. So it's not like it's a fixed 1 year to finish it. But if you don't set goals, you don't meet goals. So setting a goal that, okay, you want to read the Bible in a year, put aside 15 minutes a day to read, just to cover. That's outside of studying, right? You just read it now.
Just read it.
Because I can tell you sometimes from just general reading, without any focused study or anything, just pick up the Bible, open, and read. You come across insights, even something that you have read before. It'll pop up to you and you say, what? I never understood that this is what it meant. We just get that insight. Sometimes it's a message that you need at the time, right? It's something that you read a few times before, and you never got that insight, or you don't remember, right?
recommend that somebody who's presently, which is unfortunately, if you don't have that drive or that desire to read, my desire to read the Bible was way out of this world. So, so, but somebody, would you recommend them start by trying to read the whole Bible? Would you recommend, that's a good advice? You understand what I'm saying? Somebody who don't really have that desire to do it, would you recommend try to read through the whole Bible?
Well, why not?
Because, no, what I'm saying is, if it's too chunky, you might get choked somewhere along there and just give up.
Right, but the difference, remember I said that you read in the Bible here, which is outside of your studies.
Right.
Because you might choose a verse, a chapter to study, right? But you want to read the Bible for general reading, right? Okay? You get in the practice of reading the Bible then. Okay, but you have to start somewhere. Might as well start from the beginning.
I remember my old days, all pastor encouraged us to read the Bible. Like it was a great challenge for us.
Yeah,
And we did it, and it was a great challenge.
Right. Okay. So take a few minutes each day now to memorize scripture. Right? And you can start with the popular one, right? And we'll just take a few minutes and try to memorize it. If you read it over and over, every day you read it a bit, I'm pretty sure you're going to stick.
It begins to stick.
Right. And not only that, hearing somebody else, so you're getting yourself in a situation where other people use scripture, right? Because I learned a lot of scripture from me and Brother Chris. Right? For some reason, when Brother Chris say a scripture, it sticks in my head, right? Because he has a passion for saying it, how he says it. And, that's why it's good to align yourself with people that you have that sort of, how you say it, you have that sort of connection with, right? Okay, dedicate a few hours every week for Bible study. Okay? So the time is accumulative. So if you spend half an hour every day for studies, it's going to add up to how much? About 3 hours, 3.5 hours for the week. So it might sound a lot if you want to attack it in a chunk. But if you break it up, right, and that's why you have to have a plan, right, that you can follow, right, and that you would approach the same way every day or every occasion that you go to study. So you could say, okay, I'll do it every day, or I'll do it every other day, right, and you have a plan, you keep your notes and everything. So we're going to see as we go along, and we'd have to try and finish. So that's why I give you the handout, so in case we don't finish it. So the basic framework would be, you begin with prayer. Prayer have a way of just clearing your mind and setting that condition for you to study, right? You keep a Bible study notebook and use it, right? So you jot down notes, you study. You could also have it like a planner, right? Right. So you get a Bible study notebook and you use it, right? You read the text slowly and carefully. So you just read it first, right? And then you read it and you take notes. So don't try to take notes when you're just studying. You try to get it in first in its entirety, right? So you read the text slowly, right? And then you reread it and you start taking your notes. That's why you need your notebook. All right? And remember, here's a study. You're not trying to memorize it, right? You're trying to understand it, right? So you would highlight, you would take notes, you would look for references and so, right? And that's where the internet becomes a great tool, right? Okay? And then you end your time in prayer, right? Like, prayer is very important. The Bible says in all things, give thanks, right? Remember Pastor Brown was explaining that you don't give thanks for the tragedy that's happening or the bad thing that's happening, but you give thanks to God anyway. I think you could find, for every bad thing that happened to you, I think you could find 10 things, good things that happened to you that you can give thanks for. And I think sometimes as human beings, and I kind of learned that lesson this week too, because, even when I was like, open, I'm saying, but wait now. I'm alive. Right? I'm alive, I have my family,
That's
Look at
right.
people
I have my
Amen.
job.
in your position.
Amen.
and you know that kind of uplifted me. Even though sometimes I go back down into that
Yeah,
feeling,
we all.
Yes.
I just think, okay, why am I unhappy? Why do I let one thing spoil 100 of things, right?
You know, Brother, I have to say this because just the other day I was attacking something and I'm saying, it's like I'm saying, why not am I working? I can't finish this. Something is to be done. I just feel like giving up. Literally, I feel like giving up. And then I stop and I said, look how many people want to come to America, dying here to come to America, dying for a job like what I have and everything. So this is like what you said, you have to
Right.
Yes.
go back and look at
And
it.
look at it. And next thing, the next device I use, I say, but wait, have I ever been in a situation like this before? Yes. Didn't I come through with God's help?
Amen.
Yes. So, you know what? I'm going to sit back and just cruise, and I put it in God's hand. He goes as usual. You know? You know, so sometimes we let our minds sort of like make us stay in our circumstances. Right? So then, okay, so this is the basic framework, right? Now within that framework, right? All right, and it doesn't end there. We have to now apply. So we have to obey the commands and follow the instructions you learn from God's word. So it's an important thing that we often discuss here before, we had discussed before, is that you're not just reading it for the sake of reading it. Something must come out of it, some action, right? Okay? So that's the basic framework. And I think if you follow that basic framework, and again, some of us have the ability to study theology. But that's not the point here. Right? That's not the point here. The point is that you, on your personal journey, would be able to study the Bible, alright? Apply it to yourself in your life, right? Integrate it into the way you operate, and then in turn influence someone else by telling them the good news of Christ, of God, His love and everything, right? And in turn influencing them so that they could, you know, keep that chain reaction going. Because if we were to sit down and just read, if I just read the Bible and I just sat down and say, oh well, I've done my bit, God said read the Bible, so I read the Bible, then that's not it. That's not it. You have left out something. Okay? Alright, so a study plan. I have 2 study plans. I think the time is running out. I tried to cover both of them, but the printed I gave you is actually one of the study plans that you could use. Okay? Which I thought was a simpler one. Right? Okay? So, when you study the Bible, the passage or the verse or the chapter, whatever you choose to study, right? You could approach it from this. First of all, what does the passage say? So you're taking your notes now. What does it say to you? Right? And again, remember, that's a personal something now, right? You can share it with someone after, but you must have that. You need to have gone through the passage first and apply it according to your understanding, right? So, actually, what does the passage say? Take a note. What it says to you, right? What does the passage mean? What it means to me? What it meant back in the day, right? What it means? What is your understanding of it? Okay? How can I apply the passage to my daily life? Because, I mean, there must be something in it that you could use. Okay, how can you apply? Whether it is something, an illustration of faith, of belief, of action, something that I can do, but how can you apply it in your daily life? Right? Okay? And how does this passage fit into or relate to the rest of the scripture? Because remember, the stuff that you read about in the scripture, it don't exist by itself in isolation. Would you say so? That relationship, and like we talk about the typical Christ, right? We talk about the different agreements between God and His people, right? And how we compare to what the covenant that we are now living under, right? There's parallel, right? And some of the things that people did back then, I mean, we will not do it, we will not imitate it, physically, but in terms of a principle, we can apply it, right? Okay, we look at how people of faith, people had faith and they believe when God tells them that I will provide or I will do this, right? Now, I would find it hard that if a man come preaching that, okay, I need to build a big boat and put all the animals in it now. We'll find it hard to believe that, right? But what I'm saying is that there are parallels now where we are asked to believe things on faith, right? And it might sound strange to us, but we have to apply that faith in our everyday living.
A very good example is that the word of God said to Israel, nail it up on the doorpost. And you see, they still do it today.
Right.
Wear it on the skirt of your hem of your garment. Put it everywhere that almost every time you turn, it's there.
It's there.
But today he said, put it on our heart.
In our heart.
So
Right.
that's where we go, the physical and the spiritual.
Right.
Today,
But we still have parallels to that, right?
Right.
We have tracts,
right.
we have the physical paper Bible.
Right.
You'll find a Christian going online and reading internet, it's there. We might put it as our bookmark, right? So it would not be the same identical thing, but the principles could transcend time, right? And still have applications today. So these are the four. This is the first. When you're going through your studies, try to answer these questions or try to apply these. What the pastor said, what it means, how you can apply it to your life, and how it is fitting or related to the rest of the scripture.
Is there any way that you have been in the church now, and is there any one of those you see that you could say, this is where we are falling short?
Well, what does the passage say? I would say that is pretty straightforward because we engage a lot of discussion, right? What it means, we have people who could explain stuff. If I'm a teacher here, I don't know a lot.
You're one of the best.
No. What I'm saying is that whenever a question comes that I can answer, I could ask pastor, right? Right. So how can I apply the passage to my daily life? I think that we, again, would require active thinking. Because I think if we don't think about that part, how do you apply it? If you don't make that extra step, then it could be lacking. Right?
That's it, because I personally believe that's where we have the biggest problem in our church today, the application of what we learn. We learn it, but if you look at how we behave a lot of times, you will wonder, what we do with the things that we do, where's the application? Even at your job. In fact, a lot of what we learn in school, they will never apply what they did here.
Right. I think though that to take it a step forward is like to study, because now this is the last part for how the passage fit interrelated to the rest of the scripture. That would entail more study, because then if we don't know other parts of the scripture, then we cannot make that reference, we cannot make that connection, right? So that's the first study plan, and that's what the handout I gave you corresponds to, right? We give you little additional pointers. So I hope you could read it, because it's kind of a little bit fuzzy, right? As I said, something was trying to prevent it from happening. Right. Yes?
With regards to living an open Bible in your car in the dashboard, I was kicking it once because they said the Bible was blocking the VIN numbers of the
That's an attack.
the Bible was blocking the VIN number. I didn't know what any VIN number.
But do you have to keep the VIN number exposed
That
all the time?
is somebody who hid the Bible.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I put the school pass in the window and they ticket me.
Perhaps the hit where I was walking. I was walking in the J building at the time.
Okay,
Now
now
it will become the problem.
the second study plan, I'm going to go through it. You can take notes if you so desire. It's slightly more complex, but I included because you can sort of now combine the two. So, you know, to sort of add some more complexity. But when you look at it, it kind of boils down to the same thing, eh? But you're just looking at it from a different angle, right? So then, it's called the 4 T's. Then, write down what the passage meant to the people for whom it was written. And that's valid, because some things were written for people that, and the people is not us, simply put. Some things were written for the Israelites, right?
Some personally took some people,
Some
personal
personal things,
for
yeah.
everybody.
Right. But the important thing is that there's always a lesson that we could apply to ourselves, right? But we need to understand that, okay, it was written to these people, okay, and it was not directly related, directed specifically to us. But we can extract lessons from those, right? So, timeless. Look for principles that transcends period in which the passage was written. Meaning that it doesn't matter the time period it was written, it's still relevant. And relevant doesn't mean that, for example, if you read a passage where somebody is riding a donkey, don't expect that the same principle exists with somebody riding a donkey. Yeah, the person might be driving a car. Understand what I'm saying? But the principle, right, right. But the principle, right? The principle would transcend, because love is love, whether it was written in the days of Abraham or whether it's written now, right? If you say something bad to somebody, it's bad then, it's still bad now, right?
In other words, brother Dennis, hell remain the same, hell, heaven the same, heaven, sin the same.
The same thing, yes. So things remain the same across time, right? Even though back in those days you might have been riding a chariot, and today you're riding a bus, right? Okay, today. So apply the timeless truth to today's world. So now you have established that this principle is timeless, and doesn't matter where it happened, in what time period it happened. It could still, the principle could still be applied today, right? You apply that principle. So if love your brother as yourself, or don't kill, thou shalt not kill, right? Applies back then, you could still apply that principle now, right? It's a timeless truth, right? God is love. In the beginning was the Word. You know, those things were like written 2,000 years ago, like in the beginning was the Word. But it's a timeless truth. It doesn't change. We don't say, well, okay, well, 2,000 years ago, the Word was in the beginning. Today now, that doesn't apply. It's a timeless truth, right? It still applies today. All right? And how does it apply to me? It's always about how it applies to you. Remember, your walk is a personal walk, you know. Right? It's like Jesus walking to the cross. Did somebody else walk for him? No, he had to go and face it. When he was crucified, yeah. Right? Did somebody die on the cross for Jesus? No. Right? So your walk is a personal walk. Right? That's why you have to study the Bible. Somebody has to study the Bible for you. Right? No matter how you do it. Whether you do an audio book, whether you read it, whether you watch it in a movie, you still have to look at it and you still understand it. Because you know, at the end of the day, the Great Commission tells you to go out and preach the word. And if you don't have the word, you can't preach it. Make sense? All right. Because
we are saying there, one of the problems are where especially the homosexual community, how they justify their lifestyle today when the Bible plainly states that, you know, it is abomination unto the Lord. They say that's an old stuff that was back then. It's not relevant today.
Well, I would ask them something simple as that. Okay, so if I bond you into slavery now, would you like that?
Maybe I agree with you with that point, but on this point, it does not apply.
Because back then,
they said maintain,
yeah.
Because they said maintain.
All right. Well, I tell them, okay, you know my slave. See if you're gonna like that. Right? Okay. So that was the second plan, right? Okay. So this is just a challenge for you to go. Don't try to read it. That's what you have on the paper. Right? So the text that I will use is saying, okay, do First John as a sort of practice, right? Because it's a short book, right? So, as I say, don't try to read what's here. It's on the paper that I gave you, right? Okay, so it just gives you the first study, the first, the guidelines I gave you for the first one, right? What does it say, right? Right? What does it mean, right? How can I apply it? And how does it fit, right? Just try it. And remember, you're not producing a, how you say when you're doing your master's, you're not producing a thesis. Remember, it's for you and how you understand. And that's the beauty of it, you know. That's the beauty of it. It's what you understand. Your understanding might be different from mine. I might be able to explain the whole thing. But that's not what is relevant to you. Right? What is relevant to you might just be a small piece that you can now take and go and sow somewhere and it bear great fruit. Right? I might be able to go and teach this in the university. You might be able to go and teach it in the village. Doesn't make mine more important than yours. Right? We're doing the same work. Alright? So never belittle what it is that you can do in God's kingdom. Pastor always preach that if somebody sweeps, doesn't make them less than somebody that paints. Or somebody that plays the music. No, we all in the same work. Right? We all in the same work. When you're building a house, right? When you're building a house, everyone has a part to play, from the person that built the foundation, to the person that put a roof, to the person that paint, the person that laid the carpet. If anyone didn't do what they're supposed to do, you'll have an incomplete house. Alright? Okay. So, the reference text, and I'm trying to close the lesson. Of course, the Bible, right? And the transferable concepts, how you can study the Bible effectively, by Bill Bright. In case you want to, obtain a copy, so that I go through much more detail and you will have it in front of you. So I didn't remember what Brother Dennis said, you know. So let me read it for myself. Alright?
The series is not just one book for me.
Right, it's a series. And the transferable concept is such that, you know, you do it, you repeat it over until you're able to transfer it. That's what it is. Right? You go through it over and over. And it's the same principle in the Bible. You go through. You know that there's some people that can't read, but they could quote scripture that will make your head spin. They can't read, you know. Right? So that tells you the depth of this whole thing when the Bible is concerned. Because if somebody could memorize the Bible, they could pass it on, and they can't read it. Right? It's amazing, isn't it? That is dedication. That is commitment. Alright? Alright. So, although it's the end of the class, it's the beginning of a new era of Bible studies, right? And in the beginning was
the Word.
Any questions? Okay, any questions, smart remarks, comments? Alright.
Why the church is so empty today?